Marilyn Monroe is one of the greatest icons of 1950s American cinema, and today I'm going to recommend you 12 of her films that I think everyone should see. Starting off strong, I'm going with Some Like It Hot. For me, her best movie, her best performance, the best movie she was in, her second collaboration with Billy Wilder, and it's an absolute gem. It's ahead of its time. Sure, on set things may not have gone according to plan, but it gave us one of the greatest movies of the 1950s and one of the greatest endings of the 1950s. Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon, and Marilyn Monroe are all phenomenal in this, and it's Billy Wilder, so it is hilarious and charming and really well written. Next, I'm going to recommend what I think is the other Marilyn Monroe film. For me, there's two distinctive Marilyn Monroe films, and the second one is Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, directed by Howard Hawks, starring Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell. It is phenomenal. If you are looking to get a Marilyn Monroe film that has the pizzazz, the costumes, the lavish set pieces, it is the film for you. It is also very funny. Marilyn Monroe, again, is hilarious. She was definitely, for those of you who are unaware, a hilarious actress. It was probably her strongest point. Sure, she was typecast as the dumb blonde, but there is a lot of really great comedic performances in her filmography, in my opinion. That being said, she also has a lot of very great serious performances, and next up I'm going to recommend The Misfits, which is actually her last film. It is also the last film of legendary king of Hollywood, Clark Gable, who died during filming or just after filming wrap, but before the film came out. It's one of those films that really blurs the lines between fiction and reality because of what happened to Monroe, what happened to Gable, what happened to Montgomery Clift. Even Thelma Ritter, who is an amazing actress, is in this, and she also passed away not long after. It's a very depressing movie, but with the context as well, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. It's directed by John Huston. Yes, Marilyn Monroe collaborated with a litany of iconic directors, and John Huston was one of them. And this wasn't the first time either, because next I'm going to recommend the other John Huston film on this list with Marilyn Monroe is The Asphalt Jungle. Now, we've covered this on the Golden Hour Film Podcast, Just There Gone. Please go leave that episode a like and watch it if you're new around here. And yes, Monroe is very much not in that movie very much, but it's a movie that Marilyn Monroe is in, and it's an absolutely amazing heist movie that everyone should see. One of the best heist movies of the 50s, in my opinion. Sure, Monroe's not in it a lot, but it's a movie she's in, and it's also fantastic, so I'm going to recommend it. Sticking with the serious route, I'm next going to recommend Niagara, which is like the movie other than Charade that will appear on every single I can't believe it wasn't directed by Hitchcock lists ever made, because it is an incredibly Hitchcockian thriller starring Marilyn Monroe and Joseph Cotton, directed by Henry Hathaway. It is, again, very dark. If you're an Alfred Hitchcock fan, absolutely go out of your way and watch this. It is a incredible romance thriller. Marilyn Monroe is totally against type in this. She gets a role she gets to sink her teeth into, and in my opinion, she is fantastic in it. Again, another film where I feel like Monroe got a serious role and really got to sink her teeth into it is Don't Bother to Knock. Yes, this features my boy Elisha Cook Jr., so of course I'm going to recommend it. Watch all of his movies. He is the GOAT. But it also has Richard Widmark, who is an incredible actor in his own right. Again, this is a even darker film in my opinion. This is a really dark movie, and I don't really want to go into the actual plot of the movie because it's the kind of plot that if I was to discuss it would get this video hidden on YouTube because of certain words and stuff. But let's just say that Monroe plays a very conflicted character, and everything that goes on in this movie is far more dark tonally and literally, like the way it's shot, than more or less anything that you'll find in Monroe's catalogue, or at least films that she starred in. Marilyn Monroe only had 29 feature films, and often I feel like she was underutilized, in my opinion. This is not a film where she was underutilized at all. I think this is actually the opposite. This is a film where Marilyn Monroe got to flourish. Tonally, I'm going to flip everything around again, and we're just going to go for a few more lighthearted ones for a while. How to Marry a Millionaire is a great comedy. I thoroughly enjoy it. Honestly, to be honest, I think Lauren Bacall's performance is probably the best performance of the film, and as well, William Powell, who you might know from The Thin Man, is also fantastic in this film. But it is ultimately a comedy movie, and for me, Marilyn Monroe gives the best comedic performance. She is hilarious in this movie. Yes, she plays the dumb blonde, but she does it very well. It is about three women, the third woman being Betty Grable, who I haven't mentioned yet, who come up with this scheme that one of them is going to marry a millionaire, or all of them are going to marry millionaires, and the whole idea is that the three of them will all reap the rewards of it. Shenanigans ensue. It's a screwball comedy. It's great. It's very entertaining, and the ending is absolutely hilarious. I love the way it's shot. It's really funny. Love it. Love this movie. Again, just speaking of straight up slapstick comedy, Monkey Business is another Howard Hawks film where Marilyn Monroe plays a minor role, but again, as I said, she was very underutilized, and to be honest, coming up with a list of 12 great films where Marilyn Monroe is the star is just not something I'm going to do, but what I can do is give you 12 films that are very good that Marilyn Monroe was in, and this is a very good film. It's very entertaining. It stars Cary Grant and Ginger Rogers, with Charles Coburn and Marilyn Monroe in supporting roles, and also a monkey, and that monkey is very entertaining. Yes, I'm easy to please. When a lot of you think of Marilyn Monroe, you probably do maybe think of this image if you're not necessarily familiar with her filmography. This is from The 7-Year Itch, or at least it's a behind the scenes photo from A 7-Year Itch, which they then used for the poster. It's directed by Billy Wilder once again, and it stars Marilyn Monroe and Tom Ewell in a film that kind of has sort of a mixed reputation. I personally really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite Billy Wilder films, and that being said, Billy Wilder has a huge filmography, so like to put this in my top 10 Billy Wilder films means that it's class, and it is, and it's class. Marilyn Monroe is definitely the best part of this film. It very much feels like a 2000s comedy or a 2000s rom-com, but like in the 50s. It feels ahead of its time. That being said, there's some very 50s worldviews and stuff that, you know, don't translate so well. And it's also a fourth wall breaker. We have a few fourth wall breakers on this list if you include How to Marry a Millionaire. But yeah, they say, who's that blonde in the kitchen? And they say, maybe it's Marilyn Monroe. So yeah, fourth wall break in a movie. Love to see it. Next, I'm going to recommend All About Eve. I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot because it is an absolutely incredible film and Marilyn Monroe is not really in it that much. As I said, not easy to make a list of 12 movies that star Marilyn Monroe that are amazing, but again, this is an amazing, amazing movie that Marilyn Monroe is in. It's directed by icon Joseph L. Mankiewicz and stars Bette Davis, Anne Baxter, and George Sanders. Marilyn Monroe plays a cameo, at least, a minor role at most, but she's in it and it's a phenomenal film if you want to check it out. All About Eve is a great, great movie. Next, I'm going to talk about a collaboration between Marilyn Monroe and Fritz Lang, incredible German director Fritz Lang, and that is Clash by Night. To be honest, but at the beginning of this film, I was expecting her to have more of a prominent role than she did because her character is very prominent in the opening scenes. She plays an interesting character in this, to say the least. That being said, this is very much a Barbara Stanwyck movie. Barbara Stanwyck is the star of the show. Barbara Stanwyck gives the best performance. I will definitely be doing a top 12 Barbara Stanwyck movies everyone should see in future. This is a really dark movie, but it's Fritz Lang. He makes it dark, but he does it in such an intriguing way that you can't help but look. There's some real dark undertones and blatant overtones about, again, a topic that I can't really discuss on YouTube because the video will get blocked, but it's a fantastic movie, a very underrated movie. Marilyn Monroe is definitely more prominent in this than, say, in The Asphalt Jungle or in All About Eve, but again, I don't go into this expecting her to be the star of the movie. It's just a very, very good movie with Marilyn Monroe in it. And lastly, I'm going to go back to the very beginning, and I'm going to recommend Ladies of the Chorus. Is this movie incredible? No, but it is a good film, and it is the first movie that starred Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe's first time being number one bill in the cast. She is very good, but for whatever reason, she kind of gets shuffled into the pack by the end. That being said, like with a lot of these movies, 7-Year Itch, etc., she is the best part of the movie by far. It's a lot of live performances in this film, whether it be music or dancing or comedy or whatever. Marilyn Monroe gets one, and hers is by far the best live performance in the film. You can tell she's a star. You can tell, no offense, but she's above everyone else in this movie, and you can tell that this was why she would go on to become the icon that she did become. And I think that if you're a Marilyn Monroe fan, or if you want to get to know Marilyn Monroe's filmography, I think it is important to watch this movie, because this is kind of where it all started, really. This is the first role where she got to be the star of the show. And yes, the ending's weak. It's very dated. There's some lazy writing, but Marilyn Monroe is Marilyn Monroe in this movie. And you can tell early on in the 1940s, the late 1940s, that this woman was going to be a star, in my opinion. And yeah, that's the 12. Let me know what I should have included, what I missed, what I should watch, because I've seen those 12, I've seen The River of No Return, but whatever other Marilyn Monroe films you think are worth watching, do let me know in the comments. If you want to see more top 12 videos or Deadly Dozen videos on the channel, let us know. Let us know what Deadly Dozen videos you want to see, whether it be 12 Jimmy Stewart films, 12 Frank Capra films, 12 great heist movies, whatever it is, let us know, and we'll get to working on them. But thank you very much. Please do leave a like and a comment on the video. It means the world. And we'll see you all later on this week on the Golden Hour Film Podcast for our episode covering Ocean's 11. Thank you so much, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.